Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan, and you can always count on me to figure out there is something under my chair at the most inopportune time, like right before the camera view switches to me. So I'm probably going to have to move that at some point, but hopefully I can at least get through the chat and the announcements and maybe a few other things before I absolutely have to move what is under my chair because I can't scoot up to the desk close enough. So, let's see who is probably not having the same problem I am right now. We have Jack68K. Hi, Jack. We have Thomas Armstrong. Hi, Thomas. We have Hardware Hacker. Hi, Hardware Hacker. We have GeoHam. Hi, GeoHam. We have Jesse, I8386SX. Hi, Jesse. We have Joe's Computer Museum. Hi, Joe. We are... Jack says maybe Justin is waiting for packages to arrive. No, I had to go find the Mauser order for tonight's build. Luckily, it was exactly where I thought it was. I also had to move the 2SI off my workbench from yesterday. We have Alexander. Hi, Doc. We have 1-Bit Fever Dreams. Hi, Michael. Alexander says, I'm not sure if I'm reminded of Tron or the original Star Fox. It really is great music. I'm glad I'm not alone in that regard. I very much love chiptune. Yes, I need to have my music guy do a little bit more music for me. Gutbomb. Hi, Gutbomb. It's VRAM time. Yes. Alright, let's see here. We got the Coffee Go. Link is in the description. I did find, I know on Project Workbench, I found the missing Wood Magazine issue. So I did not have to buy the plans from Wood Magazine. Turns out I accidentally filed issue 151 and 152 after issue 161. So when I looked in the 150s, I didn't find it. Anyways, I looked at the plans and immediately rejected them because you need a table saw to do the build. Which I don't have a table saw, and I don't want to buy a table saw just to build a workbench. So anyways, I have done some more searching. I found a bench build on YouTube that looks promising, so at some point when I have a chance to actually fully watch the video and figure out exactly what you need to build it, because it was designed by electrical engineers, not wood shop people, so there's no like consolidated build list that I can find. But anyways, Joe says I am a bit quiet. I think I know why. Let's see here. It is because last week while I was working on the hard drive, I turned off the filters and I forgot to turn them back on. Hopefully that has adjusted my audio back to where it should be. Joe says better. All right. We have Mike's Future Retro. Hi, Mike. Yes, when you turn off the filters so that people can hear spinning hard drives, remember to turn them back on. I am getting feedback that this is a positive change. So I do apologize for forgetting to turn that back on when I was done with hard drives. Anyways, let's see here. Got the workbench announcement. I got the oscilloscope announcement. And then I guess there's only one more announcement to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
Who comes up with these titles anyways? Yes. So we have an eBay potential regret that comes to us from an eBay seller in I don't remember where, USA. I'm going to look it up because this is going to be the night where I truly figure out if this was a regret or a bargain or somewhere in between. I do know that I already had to get a partial refund from the seller because before they shipped it, they realized they didn't have as many memory chips as they supposedly had, so they had to partially refund me. Let's see here. The eBay seller is Florida. So hi to all my viewers and eBay sellers in Florida. Oh, I was about to say I earn reward points, but no, that's just an advertisement. Okay, eBay, you're not going to fool me. Anyways, so this was supposedly a lot of 150 memory chips, and then they counted them before they shipped them and told me there were 120. So they gave me a, let's see here, it was a refund of, so let's see, it was $75 for 150 memory chips. They gave me a refund of $15 to account for the 30 less. They were basically 50 cents a piece. Jack says, 120 memory chips. Are you going into the VRAM business? Jack says, it's a VIC-20, isn't it? CDS says, and 7% DOA rate. Yeah, I know. No, I'm not going in the VRAM business because of even other reasons. I had this idea that I might go in the VRAM business until I realized that Mike's asking, will it fit my 2GS memory card? I don't know, Mike. Thomas Armstrong says they will all work. CDS says 7% DOA rate. I say, well, there's the part number from the spool. I'm sorry about that, hardware hacker. I do not know how to fix it. And, so thank you, hardware hacker, for the coffee tip that you sent me that I didn't even get a notification from Firefox. All right. Which is really weird. Because, all right, I got Firefox open. So Firefox gives me a notification, which that might be turned off, actually, now that I think about it, because I stream on this computer. So thank you for the tip, hardware hacker. I do not know why it's broken. I did try to reach out to Coffee, and I don't remember hearing back from them, but I can send myself a test alert, and the test alerts work correctly. You can see the test alert goes on the screen. The test alert goes in the chat. But I don't know. And the goal overlay seems to be working. I don't know why. Oh, no. The goal overlay is actually not working either. It's not updating. You know, I don't think this is necessarily a coffee issue. I wonder if this is an OBS issue. Jack's asking, did this problem start after you changed the goal month? It might have. It might have started when I changed the goal. I'm actually thinking it's an OBS problem, so maybe I just need to install an OBS update. But that doesn't explain the chat issue. That might be coffee. You know, this might be coffee. I don't know. I wish I could fix it. So, I do apologize that the notifications aren't working. I wish I could fix them, but I don't know how. And if coffee doesn't get back to me, I can't try to fix it. But, I don't know. Maybe their engineers are looking into it. Anyways, I got memory chips. There's supposedly 120 here. And I believe they are the correct chip for making VRAM SIMs. I tried to do my homework because they are TC528128B. I think J1-10. These should be 128K memory chips, 100 nanoseconds, which is fine for a lot of Macs. GeoHam says I would count them one by one. At this point, I've had them so long, it's not like I could get a refund, another refund from the seller. But yeah, let's count them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119. 119 little memory chips. Thunderclap. I don't have a ruler, so... Yep, apparently the eBay seller had an off by one error. I wonder if they maybe did try to measure it by ruler and didn't realize that there's no memory chip there. Yeah, technically they owe me another 50 cents. Joe says, I think it fell out the end of the package. Unfortunately, if it fell out the end of the package, it fell out the end of the package before... it's not floating around in the box. It's not in the anti-static bag. It probably fell out on their floor. Alright, well. So, I won't be able to build as many as I wanted. I won't be able to build as many as I first wanted. I won't be able to build as many as I second wanted. Yeah. Now you see why I'm not probably going to get into the VRAM business very much. I may still have a few for sale, but not the amount I thought I was going to. Because, we'll get to the PCBs in a moment. Also, if anyone's wondering, the Mauser order, I do have the capacitors. I'm hoping those are the right size. I measured the board with calipers. No, I measured it in KiCad. Alright, hopefully I measured correctly, or this is not going to... We're not going to go very far. I also ordered other capacitors, and you ever know that? Ever have that feeling when you put capacitors in your Mauser cart and you don't remember what they're for? But you order them because they're in the cart, and theoretically that means you need them. And the only note you left yourself is a component reference. And I'm now trying to remember which board I was working on that has those 3 capacitors. Yeah. Anyways, also, if anyone's wondering, I did get capacitors for the floppy drive that's in the IBM PC, so we'll work on that at some point. Yeah, I ordered 50 of them because I have, like, a bunch of those floppy drives that all have those capacitors. I also did order some other capacitors for some PC motherboards that have tantalums that have gone pop, and unfortunately, I did not want to pay the price for the 47 microfarad tantalum capacitors, so I ordered electrolytic and polymer. So yeah, my component references need some work, that is for sure. Jesse says, I bought some 35 volt 10 microfarad caps last month, and I still don't know why. Yeah, I know what these ones are for. And I know what these ones are for. In fact, I probably should drop a, so these are for Tandon, floppy disk drives. So, see, I know what those are for. And these are for, PC motherboards. Just generic motherboards that use 47 microfarad tantalum capacitors. I don't normally replace tantalums with electrolytic or polymer, except when you go to look how much the tantalum capacitors cost in a particular value, and they were ridiculously expensive. But yeah, this is the one. I don't remember what it's for. C520 to 522. Obviously, it's for some board that's got a lot of capacitors on it. And I don't have the foggiest clue. Yeah, Thomas says, oh, the IBM Drive Smoke Show, yes. Alright, Alexander says, oh, I 100% have new components. Some in boxes, some on tape that I bought for a reason, but it's anybody's guess what that reason is. I knew at the time, but I have no idea now. Yes. Alright. So, CDS says, must be for a Mac Classic. Everything is for a classic motherboard. It'd be a Logic board. And no, I don't have a Mac Classic, so it's not for a Mac Classic. Jack says, I try to put a reference to the board they go on unless it's a value I commonly need. Yes, I believe I was attempting to put a reference to the board on the part, but unfortunately, I didn't leave. CDS says, did I say that? Trina's rubbing off on me. I didn't leave myself enough of a clue as to what board they go on. So, and now we have the VRAM sim. It is actually quite a nice sim. I ordered them from a popular PCB manufacturer that is not a sponsor, so I paid for the order myself, and I will, we'll just say that's, we'll say that's all. Alright, I'll turn on my soldering iron. Oh, I also ordered from Amazon, I ordered some solder paste. However, for the first board, we're not going to use solder paste. I'm going to put the first board together more or less the way I normally do. And then we'll test it. Jack says that this looks like a job for drag solder. You all know that I hate the drag solder because I have so much trouble drag soldering. But I'll probably end up doing it anyways because of peer pressure. So, these PCBs are based on Garrett's Workshop's PCBs. And so I didn't have the PCBs made as is so that I could potentially sell them. But the only thing I did is I changed around the silk screen so that they kind of really simply just say it's a 256K VRAM for Macintosh. And I guess on the back, because I knew where I got the VRAM memory chips from. So unfortunately, I don't think that complies with global trade rules, but yeah. Assembled by Justin D. Morgan using eBay-sourced Potential Regrets memory. So there you go. How's that for, ain't that possibly the truth? Hi, David. David says, Potential Regrets Computer Company. So, each of these VRAM SIMs needs how many capacitors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 little capacitors. And for the capacitors, I did look on Mouser to see what tantalum capacitors would run. And then looked at ceramic capacitors, and then I realized that I'm pretty sure that the board just needs ceramic capacitors. So I ordered, these are 2.2 microfarad, I think 50 volt ceramic capacitors. I realized that Jack says to put the chips on first. Alright, well, I guess we can do that. Thomas says ceramic are better for filter. Yes, but there is something to be said about ceramic capacitors, and this is why I don't like replacing other types of capacitors with ceramics. The capacitance of a ceramic capacitor goes down as the voltage goes up. So even if you're within the rated voltage range. But I then realized that at a 50 volt rating, the capacitance loss at 5 volts, because these are probably 5 volt filter caps, I realized the capacitance loss is going to be trivial, so I just ordered ceramics. If anyone's wondering, the tantalum caps would have been an arm and a leg and a spleen and a kidney, and yeah, they would have been really expensive. That's why I realized they just needed to be ceramics. Bomb's asking, do you have spare boards, or are you using them all? I have spare boards. I do have spare boards. Thomas Armstrong's asking, did you get the standard 5 boards? No, I did not get the standard 5 boards. I ordered 30 boards. Now, there is something about these boards before everyone realizes that, oh, you got 30 boards and they must have been really cheap. No, these boards were $5 a piece. And I'm not kidding about that. They were $5 a piece. And before you make any assumptions as to what cost the most in terms of all the options I had to pick, it was the drill hole size. The drill hole size is what shot the cost of these boards up, because they use like a 0.15 drill hole size minimum. So before you make any assumptions that it was shipping and tariffs related, I mean, that wasn't a pleasant number to see, but these boards before shipping and tariffs were still, the order was still over $100 before that. So I think the total order was like 150, maybe a little bit more. So maybe it was almost $100 before shipping and tariffs. But anyways, the drill hole size shot the cost of these up from just being simple $2, like $2 for 5 PCBs or whatever their normal cheapo rate is, to at quantity 5, I was already looking at like, I don't remember what it was at quantity 5, but because there was the engineering fee for, because the moment you pick something that's not a traditional process, they sink you with an engineering fee. And then there was the drill hole size fee. I just got, Hazel coating, so I didn't have to pay for gold, but I want to say that it was like 60 or 70 bucks for 5 of them. It was pretty silly. David Starbucks asking, so what is a Quadra 700 CD anyways? Is it like a Quadra 700 with the CD-ROM? First of all, it's a Quadra. Quadra. I'm going to assume that was autocorrect. And that's just my name for the project because I have a Quadra 700 logic board, and that was it. That's all I had. I never even had the case. So I had to put the Quadra 700 logic board in something, and it so happens that the donor case had a CD-ROM opening, so in the scheme of eBayers coming up with project names, I called it the Quadra 700 CD to give it a unique name. Just like I called my 2SI the 2SI. So, no, you're not a doofus, David. Gupum says, I'd love to purchase a few spare boards from you. Alright, well, we can talk. I probably very much could sell you a couple spare boards. And in fact, I could probably sell you some memory chips too, and those would be really cheap, because the memory chips were like well, okay, they were more than 50 cents a piece after shipping and tax, but well, I'll figure it out later. But anyways, yeah, the main cost would be the PCBs. These literally were like $5 a piece. Total, after I paid everything. So I only ordered 30 because I had to balance what I was paying for boards, that since I'd never bought something this sophisticated, I didn't know if I was making a huge mistake, but I had to balance that with I I need to at least make sure the order is worth it if they work. So, anyways, we're going to build one. Then we'll test it in a computer that can take one VRAM SIMs. That probably means an LC2. We'll make sure that it works. Well, I'll first probably use a multimeter to make sure there's no shorts. And in fact, honestly, I should probably check the PCB with a multimeter now, just to make sure that there's no pins shorted together that shouldn't be, before I put the thing together. Now, I do know that there are two... I'm just making sure that they're not, like, connected side to side. And actually, this I'm really doing because then when I put the memory chip on and I do the same check, I'll hopefully remember what is connected together. And yeah, these are like really closely connected. Okay, now I think those two are actually supposed to be connected together. Actually, maybe I should just build the thing and then check it. Gupom wants to max out his Quadra 700. So, let's just start soldering. So, am I saving money over eBay prices? Yeah. I think the VRAM SIMs go for about the same amount, whether they're 256K or 512K. And for anyone wondering, you can put a 512K VRAM SIM in a Quadra 700, but the problem is that it'll only use 256K of it. All right, let's see here. Thomas says a lot of eBay VRAM is flaky. Oh, now you're figuring out the power of the potential regret. I can tell you other things that are also flaky on eBay. I love sellers that like take forever to ship things. In fact, actually, I think eBay has finally maybe wised up to that. I don't think I aligned that very well. Because now I know that they'll tell you seemingly they've started sending an extra notification now when the seller actually drops the package off. Thomas says, oh, my Quadra 700 was an eBay regret. Except it was full of RAM. Well, my Quadra 700 didn't come from eBay. Jesse says eBay has wised up to that, yes. Because it used to be that eBay would just send you a message that the seller has shipped your package. But all that really meant was the seller printed a shipping label, and now they're just going to take their sweet time to actually drop the package off until they happen to be beside the post office or whatever. All right, that looks... Yeah, because now you get a notification when they actually scan it. All right, so I think this memory chip here is lined up fairly decently. So let me go ahead and tack it on, and then I'll I'll um I'll tack it on the corners, and then I'll place the other memory chip. There's that. And I moved it. There we go. Let me tack a few other. Let me tack the other two corners since it's a large chip. Go. And then one last one. There we go. All right. That one's tacked in. Jesse says I always get flooded with that notification around 2:30 because that's when the post office scans them in. All right. So now get the other one lined up. That is totally not lined up. Oh, that actually. See if I can get that a little closer to the silk screen. Mm, that looks pretty good right there. Oh, Thomas got a 5 1/4 bezel printed for his IBM 5150 and 5161. Oh, that moved when I tried to tack it, but maybe it's still lined up. Actually, I guess it does look lined up still. All right. All right. The two memory chips are tacked. So now let's try to face my fears. I want to add some extra flux around the pins that are tacked. I want to make sure there's plenty of flux because I'm going to attempt to drag solder. Means I'm going to put a whole bunch of solder on my soldering iron. I'm going to solder all these pins, and then I'm going to realize that I forgot to turn on my fan. There we go. That looks pretty good. Good. All right, now let's examine the solder joints. I guarantee nothing when it comes to what is it? Well, that looks pretty good. That some of those pins don't look as good. I should take another pass on those. More flux. More solder on my soldering iron. Some of those pins are not soldered. Oh, I think those look a little better. At least unmagnified. Let me touch up the other side. Beck says the secret is to use enough flux and a hot enough iron so that the solder does not linger. All right, let's take a look at that, and then there is flux between those pins. I think that was flux we were seeing. Okay, I think those solder joints, yeah, those all look good. I think they're all soldered. Some of them, may have, like that one pin on the end is maybe a bit much, but it's not bridging, and it's not enough to make me need to fix it. All right, those are maybe a little light on solder, but they do look soldered. All right. And yeah, I think all of those are soldered now. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. So let's get some ceramics. All right, let's see how quickly I lose the ceramic caps. All right, so we got I think these I may use the microscope. I think these are small enough that I may also try something I don't normally do. I'm going to put a dab of solder on one side of each ceramic. All right. So now I'll take a ceramic cap and we'll and then I'll try to make it look really nice, and I'll get it stuck to my soldering iron and drag it all over the place. There we go. I think that's Alright, I think that's good. Alright, we'll see you later, Thomas. Yeah, this is probably the most fiddly part of this whole process. Also, me realizing that also these capacitors are like really tiny. Truth be told, if I knew how to use KiCad better, I probably would have changed the component size to a larger footprint because hi, Francois. Welcome. Those of you who have just joined, you are watching me struggle with surface mount parts that are way smaller than I normally like to deal with, and I am having trouble with them. Hardware Hacker says eBay source potential regrets memory. Ha. Yeah. Alright. Alright. I'm going to try something here. I'm even going to remove this first capacitor because it looks. Oh, because I think I actually did manage to actually solder it on. How did I get... I don't know how I got that on. Alright, I'm gonna try something here. I didn't really want to do it, but... Because it feels like it's cheating. Like, big time. And I don't want to destroy the memory chips. But I'm going to try to hot air these little small surface mount capacitors on because I'm having trouble soldering them. Let me get the solder blob off. Alright. Alright. I don't have a 3D printer hardware hacker, so I can't make SODIMM clips. Or RAM clips, or... I will probably list some VRAM modules on my coffee store, yes. I won't be able to sell 3D printed accessories because I don't have a 3D printer. Long story. The closest in recent history I've gotten to buying a 3D printer was, I think I bought one on Black Friday special or something, and then never set it up, and right before the return period, realizing that I would have no recourse if it didn't work when I did manage to set it up, I returned it. And I think that's probably too much solder paste. Well, the problem with me getting a 3D printer is not only getting one, but getting one that I can set up and use and not and it not be a huge disaster. And I don't know. I guess I think I find a 3D printer I like and people recommend it, and then everyone starts recommending another 3D printer, and I'm like, fear, uncertainty, and doom, and I don't set the one I buy up, and then it's almost the end of the return period. I've not set it up, so I don't know that it works. So I return it, and then the cycle continues. And yes, the YouTubers that seemingly have 3D printers that just work are not helping that. Alright. Jack says, if you just need a printing appliance, a bamboo will be great. Yes, and bamboos are expensive. Because they have to pay for the ones that go to influencers somehow. Reality K1 works well too, and well, I don't know. I'll get one at some point, but Joe says my K1 is picky. Caveat emptor. Yeah, I was kind of thinking. Probably honestly put something over top this memory chip so I don't royally cook it while trying to solder this capacitor, but maybe I do need to turn the air up a little bit. Oh, that's bad, Pastor, bad. You're not supposed to do that. Oh, that. All right, so well, that Pastor tombstoned. Probably because I have too much solder paste on the board. Okay, that's probably too much solder paste. Let me try again. I just want a printer that works. It's open source. I don't have to use some super proprietary app that requires an internet connection to use. So if I want an open source, well, maybe the printer itself doesn't need to be open source, but I want to be able to, if a better firmware comes out that's not the OEM's firmware, I want to be able to load it and use it. And I don't want a printer that if the manufacturer decides that uh, they don't want you to be able to print anymore, that they can just turn off your ability to use the printer you paid for. And I don't want to have to buy a subscription to use the printer either. Just says open source printers lately seem to be garbage. Well, I don't want a printer that risks the manufacturer being able to say, "Oh, we want you to buy the new printer, so too bad." Um, well, I hope that capacitor's soldered because, all right, I'm struggling with this board. I don't know. I don't know what printer to buy these days. I just don't know. They all they all have their drawbacks now. Soccer Wrench says don't buy any. Really, just buy through a print service. Well, print services cost too much. And it takes too long. Because if I need to 3D... Sometimes I need 3D prints now, and if I can't print it now, then the project's just never going to happen because I can't print it. I don't know. It's like... I know, it's like the reason why I never managed to set a 3D printer up is because they seem to all be awful. You get a printer, you think it's going to be the one, and then you seemingly see someone that you know having trouble with that model, a printer, and you're like, oh, and then you're like, wow, that took way too much time from them, and did they ever get it working? And then I'm going to blame Bamboo. Because then they'll come out with the new printer and send it to all the influencers, and their videos make it seem like it's such a great printer and they don't have any trouble with it. And of course, they're probably hiding all the trouble they had with it because it's a sponsored video. But you'll never know. Yeah, I know they're all awful in some way, and I don't know. Alright, I think I figured out on these capacitors, you solder it, and then you gotta let it cool down enough to solder the other side. Because otherwise, you're just gonna desolder it. Sakarin says, not if you follow 3D Printer YouTube. CNC Kitchen has had a video showing multiple Bamboo failures. I follow very few 3D printer YouTubers because when the video is potentially is sponsored by some company in the 3D printing business, because that's the segment of video you're making, then what parts of it can I trust? I mean, I think I subscribe to Loyal Moses, and he seems pretty trustworthy, but he just reviews so many printers, it's printer review overload, so that actually doesn't help, because he just reviews so many printers. Tucker says, Prusa's more recent machines are just glitchy, although they're working out the bugs. I mean, Prusa seems like they make a pretty decent 3D printer, and I'd probably be happy with the Prusa, but I guess up until recently, if you wanted to buy one, you had to actually order it from the Czech Republic. It wasn't a huge problem at that time, other than it just international shipping and whatnot. Sakura says, to be honest, you have a big enough channel, you should just email Bamboo and ask for a machine. Really? What's the worst they can say? No, they didn't even reply to me and my microscopic channel. I mean, sure. I guess I can reach out to them. I kind of was not really wanting to... The reason I haven't asked companies to send me things is I don't want to have to, like... I don't know. I seemingly don't want to be the shill for everyone. If you've wondered why I haven't even asked the one company I have worked with on videos before, I'm like, I guess I just kind of decided, you know, I'd just rather be I'd just rather be, what am I trying to say? Brought to you by viewers like you, although that seems like I'm ripping off PBS's slogan, but... But maybe I should ask Bamboo. I mean, yeah, you're right. What's the worst I could say? No. It is at least something that's relevant to the channel. So don't worry. You're not going to have to worry about me accepting a sponsorship from like Every Plate or that company that makes single-gendered razors, because that's just like, no, that does not belong on a tech channel. I at least if I do have a sponsor, I want to make sure it's something relevant, and not having to have such a segue to the sponsor that it feels like Linus Tech Tips trying too hard to segue to the sponsor. Yeah, I want to be independent, more or less. Yeah. Exactly. And Jesse says sponsored by NordVPN. Yeah, there we go. I was trying to think of another product. And by the way, there is nothing wrong with PCB services. Every order I placed with them, it was correct. It was made well. I have absolutely zero, and this is my honest. In fact, I've placed orders with them that I paid for after they did a couple sponsored videos. So, I mean, I have zero qualms with their service. Their service is impeccable. The boards are always correct. But I mean, there's also other PCB services that also make the PCBs just as correct. So it's just kind of one of those. It's like every tech video I watch, at least half of them are sponsored by one particular company, and then you've got the smattering of VPN and food services. And Sloopy says acetone will clean better than IPA. I hate using acetone. There is nothing I can put the acetone in that it won't eat. And you know how long it takes me to spill the isopropyl alcohol. Oh yeah, you have no qualms. Rogue Shadow Legends is okay, folks. How long does it take me to knock over the isopropyl alcohol? Now, how long will it take me to break the glass jar with the acetone by knocking it over? All right? That's why I don't use acetone. I know. Joe says I use metal balm jars for acetone. And it's not like I don't have acetone. I do. The thing is, I'm probably going to put this in the ultrasonic cleaner, truth be told. Jack says 30 seconds. Geoham says in 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait. In 3, 2, 1. Yes, you're welcome for the sound effect to emphasize it. Yeah, I mean, I know where my acetone is, so. Anyways, there we go. We have one VRAM sim. And I think there's only one computer that I have for testing this. It's like the one computer that if I blow it up, it's easy to replace. And that would be not my LC. It'd be the LC2. If I can remember where I put it. Oh. What's that notification? All right. Still looking for my LC2. Because seemingly I have misplaced it. That's 475. That's a 475. And that's an LC. Oh wait, oh wait. Nope, that's the Bluetooth 47 LC. That's the LC that's got the FTE card in it. I'm not going to use that. That is. Wait a minute, this might actually work. Nope, nope, that'll work. Does anyone know if the LC3 can use a 256K VRAM sim? Because I've misplaced an LC2 apparently. LC3. How in the world have I misplaced an LC2? Alright, hold on, let me check Let's see, low end Mac. F12 expandable to 768. Oh, there we go. That'll work. Okay, for some reason, I thought the LC3 wouldn't work. But it will. All right. Jesse says, how about a little vitamin G? All right. So obviously this LC3, its floppy drive has a little bit of a problem. I think I broke the clip on it. But I think since I broke the clip, Garth told me a way to fix it. And I just haven't gotten back around to it. But we don't need a floppy drive for this test. And what was fooling me is I think this is actually a 512K VRAMs. No, it's not. Oh, this is a 128K VRAM sim. Okay. All right. So, oh, that power supply's broken. Oh. All right. Oh, great. I think we might have a different problem. Okay. So, so this power supply, the pin broke during some previous testing. That's from the LC475 from Japan. It's not working. I have a third TDK power supply sitting on a shelf that doesn't work. Notice the trend here. All right, that power supply needs a recap, so we can't use that one. That LC, there's no power supply in that case because that's one of the broken ones. Hold please, while I try to remember where I grabbed the. All right. Somewhere I have an Aztec power supply for the LC. This will be the quickest way to power these up. Okay, here we go. I found the LC I was originally looking for. I think it has a working power supply in it. But I'm actually not entirely sure. These TDK power supplies, even with a recap, are proving not reliable. Okay, I think this power supply works. We are, however, not going to test with this installed. This is turning into... No, this is not going to turn into a power supply repair stream. I will... have to do something else. All right. Okay. Power, video. Let's see. I think I got this set for the wrong resolution because I was using a weird card yesterday. Let's see here. So I need to set this for 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, 5, and 8. All right. It's, oh. I'm dropping frames. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold please. Alright, let's see if that improves it. I'm still dropping frames. Still dropping frames. Yeah, we're still... sorry, GeoHam, I can't normalize audio on that when I can't see it. I'll have to fix it later. I forgot that I even added hold music. Although, I am dropping frames like crazy. Microphone's cutting out because I'm dropping frames. I did quit Discord. That's why I then stopped the stream and restarted it. Because I thought Discord was the problem, but... No, I'm dropping half of the frames. Yeah, I am. Okay. Mega's asking, do I have dynamic bitrate turned on? I don't know if I have dynamic bitrate turned on. Um, I don't know where that setting is. And I don't know if I can turn that on. I just lowered my bitrate to 4,000 kilobits per second in an attempt to be able to, like, do something, and I'm still dropping. I'm still dropping frames. Alright, let me restart the stream again at this lower bitrate. I will try to lower the whole song quickly and... Actually, that's not helping. Well, that's interesting. Okay, I have no idea what potato bitrate you all are watching me in, but I turned on dynamic bitrates, and I don't appear to be dropping frames. Yeah, I've ordered a power supply for the replacement computer for this computer because Windows 11. I look okay. Okay. All right. Excellent. I got power. I got video. I probably haven't turned on the smart outlet yet. Actually, I'll just all right. So, smoke test in 3, 2, 1. It chimed. Oh, I forgot to plug a keyboard and mouse in. Hold, please. I knew I was forgetting to plug something in. All right, so apparently this TDK power supply is working. That's good. I had a feeling from the note that's on it, it did work. That's disappointing. I did not get a chime. No, keyboard might have been setting on something. All right. So we got a gray screen. That is... Oh, there we go. We got the... There we go. Mouse cursor, rounded corners. I don't know why my multi-sync monitor is in some weird state. Probably from... Joe says, LC2, they don't like being turned off and on quickly. That might be it. That's probably it. Oh, yippee! I got 753 on this Mac. Yeah, maybe I should put something faster on this one. But that's not a tonight problem. Harder hacker says, keyboard not detected. Press F1 to continue, yeah. Well, the good thing is we have video, but I don't think we're at a resolution that's going to be using the VRAM, so... Joe says, I've actually discovered a mod to make them more reliable at the on-off process. Jack says, see, it's making good use of that extra VRAM. Not! Yeah, it is nice wallpaper. Alright, so let's go to the control panels. To the monitor's control panel. And... Oh, wait a minute. This is an LC2. Oh, an LC2 with 256K of VRAM. That is all you get. 16 colors at 640 by 480. Actually, I think it is working as designed. I forgot. I'm not... This is the LC2, not the LC3. Apparently, frames aren't the only thing that Comcast was dropping tonight. My brain cells was another thing it was dropping. And you didn't know Comcast could drop one's brain cells. The LC2 only supports one VRAM SIM. So actually, we are using the VRAM SIM I built. It is totally working. There we go. There's even a VRAM test. We'll let it run the VRAM test. We can turn that off. I guess we can turn that off. We can turn that off. And we can turn that off. Alright, start cycle. Actually, we can turn that off. You know, we can turn CPU off. There we go. Hardware Hacker's asking, got a better machine to test it in? I have better machines to test it in, but I'm not risking the better machines for a fresh build. Because if I was to short something accidentally, I don't want to risk my better machines with the shorted module. Yeah, oh, and hi, Meg. I think I forgot to say hi because I was focused on Comcast dropping all my bandwidth. Francois says, so recap the portable power supply. Let's see if the fuse blows. Well, Hardware Hacker, my better machine needs a pair, so we'll have to build another one. Francois says 7.54 volts works fine, it seems. Excellent. Alright, looks like the VRAM works. Alright, so in order to test this in a better machine, we're going to have to build another one. Joe says LC2 power supply will run an LC3, I believe. I don't get why we need to put this module in another computer to test it. Let's build another one, and then we can put a pair in, because the LC3 only takes one VRAM sim. And the thing is, the LC3, the VRAM sim, is secondary to the onboard RAM, so Jack says I have 29 more boards, and at this rate, I'm only going to get like one or two more built. All right. How big a VRAM sim can you use on the LC3? A 256K VRAM sim. I mean, it can use a 512K VRAM sim, but it's not going to use the... It'll only use the lower half of it. Jack's asking, is there anything that takes 4 VRAM sims? Maybe the Quadra 700 does. The Quadra 700 can take 2, 4, or 6. So if I can get a pair built, we can... And I test the second one not in the Quadra 700. Then... Okay, I don't know why my LC2 is... acting like the SD card in the Blue Scuzzy died. Hardware Hacker's asking, I don't recall the PowerMax 6100 uses 1 or 2. The PowerMax 6100 requires an 80 nanosecond VRAM sim, I believe. These are 100 nanoseconds. So 6100 is not a candidate for these. I bought the slower memory because I got a really good price on it. I don't remember what the PowerMac 6100 uses, honestly. No, I don't think the 6100 uses VRAM sims on its logic board. You can put a card in it that takes them, but that board doesn't really fit that well in the case, if you ask me. It conflicts with the SCSI drive because that video card was not designed for the 6100. Oh, okay. I was trying to explain the limitations of the memory I'm making. It won't work. Yeah, I got 100 nanosecond memory because I got a good price on it. The Quadra 700 can't use the faster memory. Well, Stan, what I meant was I mean, it runs at the slower clock. I mean, you can use the faster VRAM sims in the Quadra 700, but unless you've overclocked the Quadra 700, its video subsystem cannot make use of the faster VRAM. It'll still run it at the slower speed. So, yeah, I guess I technically misspoke. Yeah. That's weird. Why does my System 753 install not shut down? The thing is, the sellers that make new VRAM sims, they usually make 80 nanoseconds because a bunch of the faster machines need 80 nanoseconds. And they also usually make 512K VRAM sims because a lot of the newer machines can use them, but I didn't want to pay for memory I can't use in a Quadra 700 because the Quadra 700 will only use 256K of the sim. The way the VRAM sims work, you can put a 512K VRAM sim in a Mac that's expecting a 256K VRAM sim only, and it will just simply use the lower half of it. Alright, I think there is something wrong with my OS install. Yeah, and the moment you joked about that hardware hacker, my bitrate plummeted to new record lows. Stian says, I have new bus video cards in my Quadra 700 and Quadra 650. I have a couple new bus video cards, but it seems like most of them have weird quirks. Alright, I think there's something wrong with my OS install. It's probably not the VRAM sim. You know, I guess I could put the other VRAM sim that was in here back in. And man, that flux looks so bad on this module, I might have to try some acetone, because that looks awful. Why must we use really bad chemicals to remove flux? Jack says, I have a bunch of unaccelerated NuBus video cards and exactly one good video card. I have several accelerated cards, and I have a note on one that it might not be working, but it might not be compatible with the 2SI, or that there was a problem with the 2SI. I've got one that I thought was working, but the system locked up while I was using it yesterday, so maybe it's actually not working. And I've got a couple unaccelerated NuBus cards, one of which has some bad VRAM on it, so I get to fix that. And the other one... Well, maybe I only have... I don't know. I have trouble finding new bus cards. Hardware Hacker says, I have 4 2CS that don't work, one with no audio, and a dislike of accelerator cards. Basically, my luck with new bus cards is so bad that I've just pretty much resigned myself to using onboard video. Oh, yeah, I think I got a new bus video card that the video... I think the RAM deck might be going bad in it. Alright, so this is with the VRAM sim. The other VRAM sim, I wanted to make sure the system was consistently behaving with a known working VRAM sim. So with 512K of VRAM on an LC2, you get 256 colors at 640 by 480. More importantly, does the system not shut down? Alright, so it does appear as if my OS install is the problem. It's not shutting down with the other VRAM sim either, so alright. Sure enough, it's my OS install. Alright. Actually, I am noticing something weird with my, got some residue on the logic board of this. Is that residue, or is that just the silkscreen under those memory chips? Huh. Alright, so I'll probably have to clean this logic board someday. Actually, you know, I guess I could get a Q-tip and see if that... whatever that is... Oh, yeah, that totally is... Alright, there's totally some residue on the board. Alright. Probably from where I recapped it and ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner. I don't know why sometimes I think that the ultrasonic cleaner is just a waste of time, because it... yeah, it cleans stuff off the board, but it leaves residues. I don't know, maybe that's just some factory flux that was hanging around still. Alright. So let's put the LC2 somewhere where I hopefully won't knock it over. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna put this to the test. Alright, I have acetone. I hate using it. I don't care how well it works. I hate using acetone. But the flux on this board just looks awful. I'm not going to... I'm not using gasoline. That's... acetone is not really that great for you. Yeah, I mean, well, I'll give you that. The board does look better after a little cleaning with acetone, but... All right, there we go. 1. Hi, Lazy Bite Boy. Welcome. Mega says we need a Get Retro Computer Hobbyists and Ultrasonic Cleaner Fund where we fundraise the cost of ultrasonic cleaners and give them to retro computer hobbyists who don't have them like me. All right. So we have one little VRAM sim. Let's see if we can make a second one. Ian says, a better approach may be that we all go to Justin's house with trunkfuls of boards to be cleaned. Well, depending on how dirty those boards are, you would probably I don't know how cheaply I could do something like that, because ultrasonic cleaning fluid is surprisingly expensive these days. Yeah, I have an ultrasonic cleaner. I'll probably put all these RAM modules in it when I'm after the stream. I just thought I would clean the first VRAM sim with acetone just to make it look a little nicer. How does it work with just distilled water? I've never tried it with just distilled water, but I doubt it works very good with just distilled water. I think you really need to put detergent in it for it to be effective. All right. Well, I had it lined up, and then there we go. Got them tacked. I don't know how well 9010 isopropyl water, or I don't know how well that solution would work. I've never tried it. Meg is asking, how about Mike turned off ultrasonic cleaning footage? My ultrasonic cleaner is not really located in a place I can really film it. It's under my stairs. Alright, well that looks pretty good for alignments. David Starbucks says, Dawn, a little Dawn and a pinch of Limashine might work. Now that might actually work. because I think you actually need a detergent for the ultrasonic cleaning to work. Because the problem is the ultrasonic cleaner works by cavitation, but I think you need a detergent to get to be effective. Because the ultrasonic cleaner is going to get the detergent underneath of things, but you're going to need the detergent to actually provide cleaning power. I think basically the ultrasonic cleaner is much like the dishwasher, and that sure, you can put dishes in the dishwasher and it'll spray the water quite forcefully, but without a detergent, you're not cleaning the dishes in your dishwasher. Yeah, Bruce also has videos on ultrasonic cleaning. Frankus Creations. Yeah, I think they both. David Starbuck. Jack says, I would not run my dishwasher without detergent. Yeah, I need to see if I can't fix my dishwasher. Although probably I'll just replace it because I don't know that I can fix it. I don't know what's wrong with it to even begin to set about starting to fix it. Although I could jokingly say that maybe it needs recapped, and that that could be closer to the truth than I realize, but it, so it works fine most of the time to start a cycle, but it'll eventually get to the point where it won't turn on when you like open the door or click a button on the control panel, and you have to actually keep it powered off for some time, and then you can get it to turn on again. Although very occasionally it'll actually cut off in the middle of a cycle. Which I'm pretty sure dishwashers are not supposed to do that. So, I mean, it is quite possible that it does need recapped. But complicating the repair is whoever installed it in this house hardwired the dishwasher, which isn't against code, at least not here. It is on a circuit breaker, so it's not against code what they did. But if I were to buy a new dishwasher, most appliance stores would not install it because it's hardwired. Because they want to be able to unplug it. That also complicates the repair because it's not like I can just unplug the dishwasher and work on it. I would actually have to go trip the breaker and work on it. Oh. Alright, now that is a solder bridge. We'll apply some more flux. And All right, I think that's the flux now that we see. Actually, I am. That still looks like a solder bridge. There we go. That's cleared. That's not a solder bridge anymore. That's a solder bridge. That's still a solder bridge. I think I might have. Nope, that is still bridge there. Yeah, it's still bridged. All right, we will apply copious amounts of flux. All right, I think the bridge is gone now. All right, there's that other memory chip. All right, let's turn it around. That's flux. That's a bridge. I think there's a bridge there. Um, no, I totally think those two pins are still bridged. There we go. I think I got that one. I hope. All right. I think those are all good. All right. I'm actually tempted to clean the flux off of these two chips. So I can better check them for solder bridges, just to make sure there's nothing hiding under the flux, and then we'll get the capacitors on. Alright, so I doubt I'm going to get 6 of these built tonight, as much as I would have liked to have built at least enough for the Quadra 700. Probably going to be I'll just probably have to build some off stream. Well, that was always going to be a distinct possibility there. I was going to build some off stream. Alright, now that is a solder bridge there. It was hiding in the flux. Alright. Okay, where's the memory? Here's the memory. Alright. There's one bridge. Okay, I guess it's probably just that one last bridge. Yeah. David Starbucks says a bridge too far. Yep, there we go. Bridge is gone. I didn't burn bridges, but I melted them. Alright. Yep, that looks good. Alright, so gotta add capacitors. Oh, I guess in the interest of me being able to see what I'm doing, maybe potentially. Alright, so I think my trick for installing these capacitors is solder one side. I think I'm also realizing I didn't order enough of these capacitors to build all 30 boards, but, well, the capacitors are cheap. Solder one side, let it cool down, and then solder the other side. Jack says, the only bridges Justin burns is with eBay sellers. Yeah, I'm probably on a couple of eBay sellers' I don't like you list. Stian says, I got a $10 refund for my last eBay regret. Critter Hacker's asking, what is the capacity of my ultrasonic cleaner? It is a 33-liter ultrasonic cleaner, although note that much like a lot of things, that is not the liquid capacity of the machine. That is the, like, volume of the machine in total. including like all the electronics and metal and whatever else. It's like the exterior volume of the machine is 33 liters, so it only holds probably closer to like 25 maybe. And I would send you a link to the one I have, but it's discontinued. Yeah, they all do it. Just like TV manufacturers that say that their TV is like 55-inch class because it's like 54.1 to 54.999999999 inches in diagonal dimension. Oh. Oh, he reimbursed the purchase, not the shipping, which is what I'd proposed. I'm happy with that. Oh, you know, these are so much easier to install with the microscope. Why was I trying to torture myself earlier? As long as that ultrasonic cleaner doesn't have a software subscription. We're sorry. We see that you've actually loaded 33.1 liters into your ultrasonic cleaner. Now you need to pay us a $99.99 per month subscription fee to continue to use your ultrasonic cleaner at the increased volume. Let's not give them any ideas. Yes, subscriptions for the heater. Oh, the heater and ultrasonic cleaners is near worthless. Maybe if you, like, turn it on at the start of a work day and leave it on all day, and you can start heating it up soon enough, maybe. But if you just want to, like, clean something real quick, you basically pretty much have to buy an immersion heater, heat them up quickly. Yeah, Stian says, like, BMW's heated seats. Yeah. We see that it's below freezing outside and that your rear end is cold. We're going to charge you an extra premium subscription fee for your heated seats today. Only $9.99 for 24 hours of heated seats. Francois says the Mac Portable works finally. Yay! I got a blob of solder. Oh, no, I didn't get a blob of solder there. But does not look like I soldered that. There we go. That looks better. All right, only I think. I'll get that one. Let me get this one, and then I'll get the one that's more obvious. David says, I bought a used Prius for cash. No more fancy cars for me. Yes, and Priuses are actually something that you could actually realistically replace the battery in yourself. I mean, they are a little bit heavy, but there are companies that make aftermarket Prius batteries. Wish I could be as hopeful for other electric and hybrid vehicles that they'd have enough selling power that a company would be willing to make a aftermarket battery for it. Jesse says Dave replaced his 3 times. Oh, and I did give consideration to the all-wheel drive Prius. I mean, there have been times where I've thought about maybe I have to say I've been tempted at times to look for one. Although I really don't need 2 cars. Oh, that did not. All right, I'm not going to necessarily say that all of these solder joints are going to be the prettiest, but they'll be functional. And if I do make any of these to sell, there's a distinct possibility that they will be hand soldered, and as such, each will be a unique, one-of-a-kind design. Oh, yeah. David says, yeah, but all cars can have transmission problems. Well. Oh. I think I touched my soldering iron on something plastic. I'll probably figure out shortly what it is. Probably my microscope. All right. One more. Jeff says, I think you hold your iron on the joint too long. Also, I've never sent out a product with a bad joint. These are unrelated statements, smiley face. I probably do hold the iron on the joint too long, but I'm having trouble soldering these capacitors. And I just yeeted one into space. Also, when ordering surface mount capacitors that are this small for building products, don't order the exact number you need thinking that you will be extra careful and will not yeet any into space. 750 degrees, which should be totally fine for leaded solder. It says, order more, they will disappear. Oh, and actually the capacitor that I thought I yeeted into space, it's actually It actually did not launch into space. It is like was right in front of me and I didn't see it. Oh, good night, Francois. Alright, well, hopefully I'll remember where a capacitor is. Alright, those look pretty good. Alright, so let's, I will first use isopropyl alcohol. And I will let it dry. For anyone that joined late, there's my Alright, well, I guess there's no time like the present to try this one out in the LC2, and then if I've got a pair, then I guess I can go dig the Quadra 700 out. Put a pair in and see what it does. It has 6 slots. Because the Quadra 700 has 512 megabytes on board and 6 slots for 256K VRAM. Yeah, because it supports a total of 2 megabytes of VRAM. And I did it again. Forgot to plug the keyboard in. There we go. That's why I didn't want to buy unnecessary VRAM. Because the Jurassic Computing VRAM SIMs were going to cost like $120. So I thought, well, I'll make my own. Or $130. I don't. When I was last looking at buying some, it was a while ago. Or were they actually maybe $25 a piece? It might have been $150 actually. Now that I think about it. Or I think it would have been 120 if they had 100 nanoseconds in stock. But they usually only have the 80 nanoseconds in stock, which I think are 25 a piece. So it would have been 150. But the Quadra 700 can't make use of the extra speed. So that would have been $30 that I didn't really need to spend. So instead I got this brilliant idea to build my own. So I've spent way more than $150 total to build my own. But I guess theoretically I could sell some. Am I dropping frames again? No, my bitrate is abysmal. Um, Comcast is Comcast is being Comcastic right now. Yeah, I just saw 1,337 kilobits per second. I mean, at least I can still stream, even if it is probably potato quality. Jack says the bitrate artifacts are pretty funny, to be honest. Joe says leet hacks. Yeah. Stian says Comcast. When your customer service is so abysmal, it actually introduces a new adjective into the English language. Jack says it can't deal with the desktop pattern. David says live streaming at 56K, truly a retro experience. And quite honestly, I couldn't tell you that this might actually be YouTube, not Comcast, but unfortunately, it can be hard to figure out YouTube's up and down service. But maybe that's because I need to search for Google. Google Cloud Health Status. And let me guess, YouTube is probably all the way down at the bottom. America's... Oh, this may be the wrong page. That's the wrong page. All right. Yeah, YouTube makes it really hard to see. No, I did not want the YouTube channel named that. I want YouTube's... Google Cloud, Google Workspace status. You know, I don't think YouTube has a service status page you can go to. Because Google Cloud is like Google Cloud. Alright. Well, this VRAM sim works. I mean, it could be Comcast, but here's the funny thing. So I'm going to run a speed test here, but I'm going to be very careful because it might ask me if it can... Okay, that download bandwidth is abysmal. 130, yeah, it should be. Oh, but that's because I'm running it on Wi-Fi on my phone. Oh, Comcast, there we go. I don't think it's Comcast. As much as I like to blame Comcast, I don't think it's Comcast. I think it's YouTube. Because I pay for 41 megabits up, and Joe says, speed test over your Wi-Fi is going to be bad. It's Wi-Fi, yes. Sakura says, Down Detector says, YouTube, Google, AWS, and Comcast are affected right now. David says, could be Comcast. I'm watching Monday Night Football on ESPN Plus, and it's twitchy as well, and I'm on Xfinity, same as Comcast. Well, all right, maybe Comcast is having trouble, but apparently YouTube is as well. Well, technically I don't pay for 41 up. Technically I pay for 1.2 gigabit down, and Comcast says that if you pay for that down, that bandwidth down, then it's like about 40 megabits up. No, I don't pay extra for it. That is just happens to be about the rated speed of the upload. All right, since my bandwidth is so poor, and it's just getting worse. All right. So I have 2 VRAM SIMs that I've managed to build. So I'm going to go get the Quadra 700. Well, first I'm going to give that VRAM SIM a quick acetone cleaning, just to clean it a little better. And then I'll go get the Quadra 700. We'll put the 2 VRAM SIMs in the Quadra 700, confirm that it's happy with it, and then that's probably where I'll draw the stream to a close, because the longer I go, the worse my bandwidth's getting. And I don't know that I can finish another sim. Yes, good, Jackson Dave says you should clean things in hydrochloric acid toilet bowl cleaner. I'm pretty sure that was limited to rusty Macintosh frame parts, but yeah. Oh yeah, that was my, what was my, slogan for the Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. Strong enough for a Macintosh, but formulated for your family's toilet or something like that. Strong enough for your Macintosh, but safe enough for your family's toilet. I don't know. Harder Hacker says it simply cannot be done in time. Well, the bandwidth is getting so low at this point that I don't think dynamic bandwidth is going to help. Oh, I probably don't want to wipe that up with that. All right. All right. Okay, there we go. I spilled some acetone. All right, let me go grab the Quadra 700. It'll take me a moment to get it off the shelf because it's underneath a stack of boxes, because of course it is. All right. I have the slightly suspicious looking Quadra 700, because anybody that knows the Quadra 700 knows that Apple did not ship it in a metal case. But mine's in a 2VX case, because Quadra 700 cases are even rarer than the logic boards, apparently. All right. So I have my Quadra 700, and I am relieved to see, after watching a video where someone mentioned some of the Quadra 700s had electrolytic caps. Or maybe it wasn't the 700, maybe it was the 650. I am relieved to say that my Quadra 700 appears to have tantalum caps, so I guess I don't have to worry about recapping it. Ian says, I love my Quadra 700 case. One of the easiest Macs to work on. Well, the 2VX is not exactly... well, Joe, I'm not sure that me leaving my tools out is an indicator that I have the space to leave them out. It's probably more of a... yeah, the 2VX is not easy to work on. I will give the 2VX that the metal case probably makes it so that you could put a monitor on top of it and not smash it to smithereens. But, they did not make it easy to pull these power supplies out. Oh, I did one other thing in terms of the workbench. I ordered some keyboard drawer slides from Rockler Hardware because they had some on clearance. I thought the power supply should just, like, I don't know. The VRAM SIMs are... Oh, removing the power supply is not enough. I just gotta remove the entire drive assembly. Joe says, I hate those supplies. Yank up and pray. Yeah. That's about... Alright. I know it's only 2 screws and a spillage of the isopropyl alcohol, but everything's harder when you're live streaming and trying to do it. There's a clip on the left side towards the bottom, lines up with your blue SCSI. Now, I want to get the power supply. I'm trying to pull the power supply out. The power supply has to come out before you can remove the drive cage. I don't see a clip on the underside. I seriously don't. Unless this is the clip. Is that the clip that... No, that is not... I don't think there's a clip on this one. I don't think there's a... I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a clip on it. Oh, that clip. Well, now I've made it worse. All right, I got... sorry, Stan. I got confused when you said it lines up with your blue SCSI. I didn't see a clip because that's more of the SCSI cable. I mean, the power supply is not clipped, but it doesn't want to come out because now it's at a weird angle, and now I've just made everything angry. Sorry, I'm getting frustrated because my bandwidth keeps dropping, and I think I didn't see the clip. I started to remove the drive cage, and now I think I've got the power supply caught up on something it doesn't normally get caught up when you try to remove it because it was at an angle. There we go. I'm just glad that power supply is recapped. All right. All right. floppy drive, SCSI cable. Alright, now this should come out. If I had a real Quadra 700 case, I think it would have been so much. I would probably be booting now. And now I don't have a place to set the drive cage. I'm out of places to set things. Okay. So there's our VRAM. So here's our two newly minted VRAM SIMs. All right. Going to plug in video somehow. All right, I'm going to plug the power supply. I'm going to keep the drive cage out in case this doesn't work. All right, plug power in. I am going to set something. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat very well. All right. Power, video, SCSI. And I guess I probably technically need a battery. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. All right. Here we go. Keyboard is plugged in. All right. We got gray background. I will probably have to change the color resolution. Oh, looks like my Quadra 700 is using the same base image as my LC2. Scalar artifacts are interesting. Yeah, I only have like a kilobit, 1,000 kilobits per second up. It's actually quite pathetic. And sadness. No millions. Nope, options does not give us the option. I don't think option click on options gives us the option either. I Nope. No, I tried option clicking. You don't get anything extra. Maybe. I don't think I've got tech tool on here. Oh, it doesn't look like I have Snooper on here either. No, I can't boot from the other SD card. Not just by swapping cards. Uh, I don't have a Blue Scuzzy external handy. I realized that I could try. Well, this image is just borked, apparently. Let me try to think. I had a card yesterday. It's in. I know. I'm. Yeah, hold on. I'm. It takes me a minute to try to remember where I have images. I don't. I don't always put them in logical places. My up. My bitrate to YouTube is abysmal. It's demoralizing. I'm trying. I was really wanting to just take a moment, take a breath, before Joe tells me to take a breath. And then, yeah, try to find the images where I put them. And I was actually wanting to go look up the chart of supported resolutions on the Quadra 700 with the amount of VRAM you have, because it is quite possible that I don't have enough VRAM SIMs to see more than 256 colors, because it's really weird what it works with. So yeah, give me a moment. I'm trying. I really hate how little bandwidth I have right now, because I like my streams to be as high quality as I can make them, and YouTube and Comcast are working against me right now, and it's kind of demoralizing. All right, I got some Blue Scuzzy images. While there's copy, let me go look up what the resolutions it supports are, because I seemingly remember Gutbomb and I having a discussion about this, that you pretty much needed to load the thing with VRAM to get anything respectable, and it was still kind of weird. All right. So 640. So according to low-end Mac on the Quadra 700, that doesn't make any sense. According to low-end Mac, at 640 by 480 and 832 by 624, you get 8-bit at 512K and 24-bit at 2 megabytes. 512 by 384, 16-bit at 512K, and 24-bit at 1 megabyte. And 1152 by 870, 4-bit at 512K, 8-bit at 1 megabyte. So it looks like I'm going to have to change the resolution to either 512 by 384 or 1152 by 870, according to low-end Mac, to even get a and I'm going to have to use the Wayback Machine to look up the Apple service, the all right, let's go back to 2003 in the Wayback Machine when that info article probably still existed. Jack says that matches what Apple says. Oh, there we go. Jack found the... Yeah, so it looks like the only way to know it's seeing 512K is to either... Alright, I've got some images on my Blue Scuzzy card. Alright. Okay. Let's... Yes, I was looking for the article you linked above, but low-end Mac has the old link still on their page, so it... Oh no, actually low-end Mac's link was going to a different page. Oh, yeah, the info article on Apple's website that low-end Mac links to is explaining why the Quadras take more VRAM than other Macs for the same color depth. And it's because for 24-bit color, it's actually using 32 bits for each pixel, which needs 1.2 megabytes. That's why you have to have 2 megabytes for 24-bit color at 640 by 480s, because it's using 4 bytes instead of 3 for each pixel. And Stian says, not applicable bit. Too funny. So let's see if by chance maybe some other utility can see how much VRAM I have. Alright, there we go. We can see if Snooper can see it. No. Snooper does not want to launch. Okay. Snooper does not like launching if you load extensions, and I don't know why. Oh, unless... Oh, no, I didn't want power talk. I wanted control panels. Memory... Oh, that might be why. Jack says it's also weird that 16-bit isn't listed anywhere. Oh, that's fun. Ah, I must have some extension on this OS install that... Oh, now I bet Snooper will launch, because I didn't load extensions. Yeah, I don't think the Quadra 700 supports 16-bit color. Jack says, Kablamo, sorry, a system error occurred. Good night, Joe. Alright. System info. 32-bit color quick draw, yeah. Pointing out that 32-bit. CPU info. No. And you can see I have 20 megabytes of RAM. I need to pump that up. New bus slot info? Nope. Display PRAM? No. Oh, we can at least let it run the VRAM test, and then I'll see if I may have Tattletech on one of these SCSI drives, or SCSI images. Yeah, I'm probably going to need to install a fresh OS install for this Quadra 700, because apparently this image doesn't like certain Macs, probably because it's missing enablers or something. It's system 711, so there's quite possibly missing enablers for some systems, or I got some extension loading that some systems don't like, and I just don't realize it. But I was thinking for this computer, I was probably going to get some 16 megabyte SIMs for it. So at least I could have 68 megabytes of RAM total. Ian says, I do fresh OS installs a lot. It wasn't even just enablers, but literal missing resources in the system file at one point. Alright, Gupom says Tattletech's on the software image he sent me. I'm pretty sure it has enablers. Alright, let's see if Tattletech can tell us, because I'm going to need to make 4 more VRAM SIMs before we'd be able to turn on 32-bit color. Or I'll just have to pick a resolution that's not possible with like 1152 by Tech Tools Tattletech, right? Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Info. Oh, no trouble found. That's really good to know. I really just wanted you to tell me what was in the system, but Tattletech, there we go. Oh, it's 2.59. Oh. Oh, fine. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I should maybe, like, read the please read me. Nope. I guess not. All right. All right. Oh, it's not even using that extra VRAM for this resolution. All right. Memory. 20 megabytes of RAM, no virtual memory. System. Ah, it says I could put more in, but I don't want to wait 2 minutes for post. Yeah, no, that is a drawback. Dex says I wanted to have a maxed out one. Yes. All right, so Tech cannot tell how much VRAM's in the system. All right, fine. I have I have ways around this. Okay. I will take the video adapter out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only the all right. Because I don't think this adapter can be set for 512 by 384. Now, I don't know if my scaler is going to like 1152 by 870 or whatever it is. I also don't know why I can't just plug. There we go. All right. Okay, so 1152 by 870. We can set 8-bit colors with 1 megabytes of VRAM. And I have even more potato of a bandwidth right now. I just realized I'm like dipping under a megabit a second now. Okay. Now the thing is, 4-bit it can do with the minimum amount of VRAM. So and it does look like it's in monochrome mode right now. Colors 16. Oh, that's disappointing. Like a megabit a second. It's pretty low. All right. Yeah, it's only using. Oh, it's yeah, it's. Oh, yeah, it's probably. All right. I don't know that it's using this VRAM. I'm not sure if I have it in the. I don't know if I even have it in the correct slots. Oh, I've lost my internet connection. Yeah, I have half a megabit or less, and the VRAM sims are. Not being detected. Um, and with that, because okay, I think I've recovered. All right. So, the Quadra 700 is not seeing these VRAM sims or not letting me use them. My bandwidth was just down at 0. Just dipped to 0 again. We're back up. All right, I think it's time to end the stream because I'm probably going to lose bandwidth completely to YouTube here. So, all right, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to smash that like button if you like it when I try to stream, even when Comcast is being Comcastic, and YouTube's also having problems. Thursday, we'll be looking at the 286 board that Dave sent me, and Beck says, well, while you're talking to us, your internet connection seems to be okay. Well, hopefully, maybe if I'm talking, then it's going to be okay, and I'll play out the outro. But yeah, well, I guess there's more troubleshooting to these sims for later. So with that, I hope to see you all here on Thursday or next time. Take care, and hold on. Take care, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.